how it can be possible to refocus to convenient scenarios of the future using Iissiidiology. In common, Iissiidiology is created to assist people in their self-development by means of the Iissiidiological knowledge. Actually, it is wrong. Iissiidiology is essential for changing completely the paradigm of the collective consciousness. On the assumption of yours, it is not Iissiidiology, it is so-called selfish comprehension of the surrounding world. I have raised the question from a bit different point of view, that is, from our relation to the world and to ourselves. All the time we wish to change the world by means of improving our consciousness, using the Iissiidiological knowledge. Is there any practice, method, or possibility to look at our self-improvement alternatively? Could our creators, curators, transform the scenarios of us, as the planetary community, maybe any worst scenarios in order to improve or to ease them, as it were? Each of us has his own focus dynamics, which is structured with our interests. Using this focus dynamics, we refocus to various scenarios. It seems to us that we don't want to be in this scenario. In fact, if you misused and analyzed your own interests, so you would see the great multitude of what holds you here. You are interested in being here. That is why various bindings exist. To people, conditions, situations, feelings. You are interested in being here. Until you are indeed fond of holding on something here, you are in these scenarios. All the scenarios already exist. It is the Scrollert system which exists golochronically, simultaneous, that is simultaneously, instantaneously. The only thing which each of us and every collective consciousness has is the focus dynamics. Focus dynamics changes depending on the degree of its structuring by various conceptions, of various interests, in that interests act via conceptions. Imagine that all of them are scattered, and all of them exist. You are able to change scenarios if moving consequently, losing interest to one kind of realization, and experiencing the essential interest to another kind thereof. The essential interest is not far-fetched in that. It is impossible to make it up. It is impossible to delude yourself talking, "No, I wish to move to the future. It interests me more." Well, you are interested in the future, so tell me in details. What does interest you most of all? You say more convenient scenarios. What does interest you there specifically? Begin to structure this future with your attention, conceptions about yourself, and about your surrounding world. Then, once you structure this future clearly in your imagination, you can say that something must occur, but something mustn't. Something is of one kind, but something is of another one. However, it is necessary to establish interrelations in this foremost structure. It may be for you to refocus not there owing to the fact that your intentions do not correlate with configuration of your self-consciousness, in that it remains selfish. Your state does not correspond to the circumstances which are convenient to your selfish development. You imagine the unreal future for you. It is rather real, but you must correspond to all good that you created as your interests and wish to gain now. Until you get changed by yourself, nothing could change around you. This must occur in this manner. There mustn't happen any wars, whatever. The economic affairs must be something of this sort. If there must be no politics or religion, so what must be instead thereof? That means your conceptions are to be defined specifically. And then you have to find a means for refocusing to there exactly, to what you intended before, changing in accordance with the laws to be not avoided, and the main law is like calls to like. Nobody can do it instead of you, in that there is only you, the single one, who structures everything, who chooses anything he needs from the whole macrocosmos. However, while choosing you have to change yourself in accordance with what you choose. Many people rebel. Why does not something good happen around me? I do not want to live here. I'm so good. I am. If analyzing this man thoroughly, you feel that his attitude to this thing cannot appear in more qualitative circumstances. His attitude to this thing is the same as it was before. Having sorted it out, you understand that the man is still too selfish in his essence. For him to get to the other, more favorable development scenarios, before all, he has to get rid of this selfishness. This selfishness is annihilated through establishing more кавалерные, compatible interrelations, more compatible to other people. That means there must be tolerance, forbearance, mercy, and compassion. All that we have already talked about must attend your choices. Therefore, in accordance with this activity, your surrounding world will change and transform, as well as the people around you. They will change for configurations of what we call compassion and mercy. And then they will behave toward you in this way, toward what you will represent. Just having asserted yourself, I am good, and other people are bad, the surrounding world is not worthy of me, you will come to nothing. I suppose this point of view is not actual, and it represents the illusion of existence. So modifications are accessible to us only by means of our refocusings, of various choices, aren't they? Here I can say that Iissiidiology provides an opportunity that is knowledge about causes and results. If doing anything anyhow, there would be something, how it is done and why. There is structuring of your conceptions about what steps you ought to make and what transformation ought to experience if you wish to do anything. All the rest is up only to you. That means that having received the mechanism, you have to learn how to use it. It is like you took the very complicated device in your hands, for example, computer. You were given the opportunity for surfing the internet. However, you do not know how to make use of it. You know nothing about it, but you want everything to be completed immediately. Both internet would become available and everything else. You just do not want to learn anything. You have the computer, and only that is important to you. You may think that if you have Iissiidiology, it is the best guarantee that you would be present in the best worlds. No. Learn how to use it before all. Then you will reach the access to internet and then everything that will fit any your state. You are given just the mechanism or principles of mechanism of your self-consciousness work. Principles of self-consciousness work with surrounding world, which is the consequence. The latter is the result of interaction among your focus dynamics with the laws which structure the screw-layered system, that is all the macrocosmos, all universes and all continuums. I got it. Until we are in the state of animal consciousness, nobody would facilitate these our scenarios accordingly. There is nobody who could. There is nobody except you. You are the soul. I understand, but someone created these scenarios. Could some former creators do it? You did it. Merely you, more qualitative one, who is interpreted as worlds by us. I see, that's why I'm sitting here. Again, I am concentrating your attention on that I gave you the computer full of amount of programs. The amount of various principles. They allow to gain the opportunities you have not ever dreamt of. You cannot even imagine them. However, I just gave it to you, that's all. Hereafter you have to learn how to use it. Hereafter everything is up to you. Either you lay it on a bookshelf and let the Iissiidiology books get dusty, or you start to sort it out and think, how can I use it to make one or another thing, to become who you want, to gain definite conditions, to change the world in a definite way. Everything already exists. Everything is explained as particularly as possible, to depict what is beyond words. However, if I manage to do this, so this already exists. If it happened in these continuums in this way, so it had already been created. Primordially, everything was projected here from the flux levels by all of us as the single whole. Generally, we can talk about it endlessly. Now, all is up to you. You can give it all up and continue living peacefully and normally, holding not on all these difficulties and details. You had lived ordinarily until you found Iissiidiology, hadn't you? Why were you suddenly attracted to Iissiidiology? Now you want to worry about how to behave, to muse about these difficulties. Why it happens in this way, not in that. You already have the opportunity to give it up, to renounce it and to say, keep off me. No one forces or violates nobody. I just presented the opportunity, this mechanism to each of you. But I cannot become each of you to use this mechanism as I am able. You have to reach the states which I now experience, but gradually. How is it possible to reach them? It is possible by studying Iissiidiology thoroughly. Iissiidiology belongs to more qualitative future worlds where you experience these states. It is the only hold you have. In future I understand it thoroughly. In future I have exceptional abilities, and present Oris is not a patch on them. So by means of progressive use of these highly qualitative forms and conceptions, I can gradually get into my future and more qualitative configuration, and become myself, who is in future and is already present. However, it is wrong to imagine that I will be in the bright future, but at this point I will stay one who I am, with the same snaps to the current scenarios. Everything is created very rationally, by resonance. The more elements from your future are present here, the more stable connection will establish between you in the future, who already exist, and you in the present. These elements will resonate with each other. Rather clearer line will establish between you in the future and you in the present. Therefore, there will be more snaps to the future. Then the process of observations, refocusings, will run faster.